Now, let me give my top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL. I have my guys ranked in order. I'm going to give my top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL from bottom to the top. Number 10, C.J. Stroud. Number 9, Baker Mayfield. Number 8, Jordan Love. Number 7, Jaden Daniels. Number 6, Jalen Hurts. Number 5, Matthew Stafford. Number 4, Joe Burrow. Number 3, Josh Allen. Number 2, Lamar Jackson. And coming in at number 1, none other than the great Patrick Mahomes. So that's my list. Let's go through it. C.J. Stroud is the 10th best quarterback in the NFL to me. And the reason why he is the 10th best quarterback in the NFL is because last year the Texans, they had a lot of injuries on the offensive side of the ball. And C.J. Stroud did not have a good season last year like he did in his rookie year. But I thought C.J. Stroud still led the Texans to the playoffs. They won a playoff game, and he lost Stephon Diggs, and that offensive line was a mess. And C.J. Stroud still managed to get the Texans to the playoffs. So I would say Stroud is still a top 10 quarterback. Now, coming in number 9, Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield had over 40 touchdown passes last year. I believe he had 41 to be exact. Baker Mayfield was balling last year. He really was. And he came on late, and he had a tremendous season for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Last year, 41 touchdowns, 16 interceptions, 4,500 passing yards. He completed 71% of his passes. I thought Baker Mayfield had a great season last year. And they lost Chris Godwin last year, so they still had Mike Evans. But I felt like last year Baker Mayfield had arguably the best season of his career. I mean, those 41 touchdowns, those are the most touchdown passes that he has had in his career. He comes in at number 9 for me. But he ain't number 8, though. Number 8 is Jordan Love. Last year, Jordan Love, he had 25 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 3,389 passing yards. He completed 63% of his passes. Last year, similar to C.J. Stroud, Jordan Love, he didn't have as good of a year in his sophomore season than he did in his rookie season. In his rookie season, well, technically, it was his first year starting, so I say that's really his rookie season. But this really is going into this year. This is going to be Jordan Love's 5th year. But in his 3rd year in the NFL, he started. In his rookie season, in my eyes, 32 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 4,159 passing yards, and he went on a tear in the second half of the 2023 season. And he led the Packers to the divisional round of the playoffs. And remember in the wild card round, they dominated the Cowboys. Jordan Love outplayed Dak Prescott. And then they got to the divisional round. In the first 2.5 quarters, Jordan Love and the Packers looked like they were on their way to the NFC Championship. And they were the youngest team in the NFL. And Jordan Love didn't play well in the 4th quarter in that matchup against the Niners. But I thought last year Jordan Love also dealt with a bunch of injuries. Remember, he got injured week 1 against the Eagles. He got banged up also against the Jaguars later on in the season. He was dealing with nagging injuries all year long. And against the Philadelphia Eagles in the playoff game, he was terrible. I mean, 3 interceptions. It was a terrible performance from Jordan Love in the playoffs. He has to improve on his decision-making. That's the biggest issue with Jordan Love. We know he has the talent. We know he can make all the throws. But I think that's his issue. He has to learn how to protect the football better. Has to learn how to protect the football better and not turn the ball over as much. Coming in number 7 for me is Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels balled out last year. And obviously, Jaden Daniels, he led the Washington Commanders to the NFC Championship game. Last year, Jaden Daniels, during the regular season, $25 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 3,568 passing yards. He completed 69% of his passes. Jaden Daniels was balling last year. He really, really was. And I thought coming into the draft, remember last year, coming into the draft, honestly, we didn't really talk about Jaden Daniels as much as we should have because he was balling at LSU. He really, really was. And all we talked about was Caleb Williams. And Jaden Daniels had a better season than Caleb Williams did. He really, really did. And I thought he was the biggest reason why the Washington Commanders made it to the NFC Championship game. Obviously, last year, he won NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year. He made the Pro Bowl. But we talked about Caleb Williams coming into the season last year and did not give enough respect to Jaden Daniels. And Jaden Daniels balled out last year. He really, really balled out at a very, very high level. So he comes in at number 7 for me. Coming in at number 6, Jalen Hurts. Again, Jalen Hurts, he won a Super Bowl. He won Super Bowl MVP. And I thought he was tremendous last year in the playoff run for the Philadelphia Eagles. He has tremendous leadership. I think he is perfectly ranked at number 6 because he's not better than Matthew Stafford, who's number 5 for me. I believe Matthew Stafford is the 5th best quarterback in the NFL because Matthew Stafford is more proven than Jalen Hurts is. And Matthew Stafford is a Super Bowl champion. And let's not forget, last year, the toughest matchup for the Philadelphia Eagles on their route to winning the Super Bowl was against Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford played well against the Eagles in that divisional round game last year in the playoffs. And last year in the regular season, he didn't have great numbers. Matthew Stafford, 20 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 3,762 passing yards. He completed 66% of his passes last year. But last year, Puka Nacua was the reliable target for Matthew Stafford. But remember, Cooper Kupp kind of fell off last year. He wasn't as effective in 2024 like he had been in previous years. For whatever reason, Cooper Kupp has not been the same since the Rams won a Super Bowl against the Bengals. He's been dealing with a lot of injuries. But I got Matthew Stafford as my 5th best quarterback in the NFL. Coming in number 4, Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is the 4th best quarterback in the NFL. And I thought last year Joe Burrow balled out. Last year, he had 43 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 4,918 passing yards. And he was balling last year. If it weren't for the Bengals having a terrible defense and missing the playoffs, Joe Burrow would have won NFL MVP and would have gotten my vote. To me, Joe Burrow, if he would have been able to get the Bengals to the playoffs, he should have been the NFL MVP. He was balling last year. I mean, he put up tremendous numbers right with Jamar Chase. But last year, Joe Burrow, honestly, he played the quarterback position at a very, very elite level. And he kept the Bengals in games last year. I mean, he really did. I mean, 43 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 4,918 passing yards, completing 71% of his passes. Joe Burrow was balling last year, but he ain't top 3. The 3rd best quarterback in the NFL is the reigning NFL MVP. That is Josh Allen. Now, last year, Josh Allen, he had a pretty good season. I thought Josh Allen did the the most with the less. Amongst the top 4 quarterbacks, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and Patrick Mahomes, I felt like Josh Allen did the most with the less at his disposal. Like, he didn't have really much to work with. Patrick Mahomes still had Travis Kelce. He still got Andy Reid calling the plays. Lamar Jackson had Derrick Henry. Joe Burrow has Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Who does Josh Allen really have on the offensive side of the ball? And I thought last year, Josh Allen really played great football last year. 28 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He had 3,731 passing yards, completing 64% of his passes. Last year, Josh Allen being able to lead the Buffalo Bills to another AFC championship with what he had at his disposal, I thought that was an impressive feat for Josh Allen. And to me, for a while, I used to always say Joe Burrow was better than Josh Allen, specifically when the Bengals went to the Super Bowl. Remember the Bengals, they went to the Super Bowl, they lost to the Rams, but even the following year, Burrow beat Josh Allen in the playoffs. And so I said Joe Burrow is a better quarterback than Josh Allen. But the last 2 years, Joe Burrow, the year before last year, injured his wrist, out for the season. And then this year, he didn't even make the playoffs. Josh Allen, he led the Buffalo Bills to an AFC championship game last year with very limited offensive weapons at his disposal. He didn't have Gabe Davis. He didn't have Stephon Diggs last year. So for him to get the Buffalo Bills to the playoffs and get them to the AFC championship game was very impressive for me. He ain't number 2 or 1. That's because Lamar Jackson comes in as the number 2 quarterback in the NFL. Lamar Jackson last year, 41 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He had over 4,000 yards passing last year. He completed 67% of his passes. I thought last year Lamar Jackson had his best year as a quarterback, as a passer. 41 touchdowns last year for Lamar Jackson through the air. That is elite quarterbacking at the position. It's elite. We have to give him credit. Lamar Jackson, hearing all the critics, because that's the biggest knock on Lamar Jackson from the critics. Oh, Lamar Jackson, he can't throw from the pocket. Or Lamar Jackson, he's not elite throwing from the pocket like Joe Burrow, like Patrick Mahomes, or like Josh Allen. Well, you can't say that after last year, because last year, Lamar Jackson had 41 touchdown passes for the Baltimore Ravens. So I thought last year was Lamar Jackson's best season as a passer since he's been in the NFL. And the only thing about Lamar Jackson is I don't even care about what he does in the regular season anymore. I don't care, because Lamar Jackson needs to perform at an elite level so he can get the Baltimore Ravens over the hump and get them back to a Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson has reached that point in his career where I don't give a damn about what he does in the regular season anymore. I care about the postseason for Lamar, but nevertheless, Lamar Jackson did have 41 touchdown passes last year, so he was a tremendous pocket passer last year from the pocket, and that's with Derrick Henry in the backfield. But he's not number 1, and that's because Patrick Mahomes is still the undisputed best quarterback in the NFL. Last year, in a down year for Mahomes, 26 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 3,928 passing yards. He completed 68% of his passes, but he still was able to lead the Chiefs to the Super Bowl. Joe Burrow has Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Josh Allen has a nice defense, but he doesn't really have elite weapons, but he has a nice defense. Lamar Jackson has Derrick Henry. Patrick Mahomes has Travis Kelce, and last year they lost Rice. Remember, Rice went out with a season-ending injury, and he still led the Chiefs to a Super Bowl appearance. So, to me, until Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen can beat Patrick Mahomes in the AFC Championship game, and until Joe Burrow actually gets the Bengals back to the playoffs, Patrick Mahomes has to be the undisputed best quarterback in the NFL. Let me say it again. Until Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen can beat Patrick Mahomes in the AFC Championship game, or Joe Burrow can get the Bengals back to the playoffs, Patrick Mahomes still has to be considered the undisputed best quarterback in pro football until further notice. Point blank, period. So those are my top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL. 10, C.J. Stroud. 9, Baker Mayfield. 8, Jordan Love. 7, Jaden Daniels. 6, Jalen Hurts. 5, Matthew Stafford. 4, Joe Burrow. 3, Josh Allen. 2, Lamar Jackson. Number 1, Patrick Mahomes. That's my top 10 quarterback list.